Welcome back to Headliners. Let's get straight into it with The Telegraph. And a father is trying to stop the NHS permanently mutilating his autistic child, Paul.
Yeah, this is quite the harrowing story, actually. A father is taking legal action against the NHS to try and stop surgeons performing sex change surgery on his vulnerable autistic son. So this quite clearly is an incredibly divisive story, and I'll try and be as sensitive as I can about it. I'm not sure I can remain impartial because I have fairly strong views on this. But the fact, let's look at the facts straight away. This is an adult. It's a 21-year-old man who has autism. Now, I don't know really what level of autism he has. Therefore, I don't know how much of an impact this has on his decision to make changes about his own body. However, all I can see from this story is the father's perspective, which is if this man, his son, is severely autistic in any way, then he would have had support and care most of his life. And therefore, his dad is assuming that role now. He's saying, I don't think that you should be doing this. And therefore, this is much more nuanced than an adult making decisions about their body.
Yeah, well, I thought I was absolutely sickened by this story. He had 2 appointments at 17. 2 appointments, 17 years old, and he's autistic, and he may develop later than other people, and he's already pushed into this direction. He was rushed into it. He was given puberty blockers at 16 against his father's wishes, and the father is arguing he can't really consent to surgery until 25 because he has autism, and that is when the prefrontal cortex fully develops and people become fully rational, so I think that's a good argument for anyone. And so I find this absolutely disgusting. You've got this kid pushed into it, and also his father was told that if he tried to do anything about it, then the child may be taken into care. So the state will take your child off you if you say this shouldn't happen. And I find it incredibly disturbing and heartbreaking. What do you think, Lewis?
Well, the question in the story is, where is the mother? And I think that's one of the silent things that are happening out there. There's a lot of mothers against fathers with the determination of their children's sexuality and gender orientation. At the same time, there aren't that many of these happening. Like, as we found out just the other day, there's only 355 done every year on the NHS, right, Nick? It's not that many, but each one, it is a tragedy. You only hope. I'm trying to be as political as possible here.
Don't be.
You only hope that a greater good to our society is done. I personally do not believe that you should. I'm even against tattoos now, at any age.
Well, I mean, it's shocking. He's got a history of bullying, anxiety, and the father's saying that he believes becoming a woman will somehow solve all his problems, but of course it won't. And they compare it to this story of Richie Herron, who was a gay man who had autism, so didn't realise, I'm just gay, couldn't process it, and had this surgery, now can't go to the toilet, and has crippling pain all the time.
Yeah.
And there's just going to be so many stories like this.
There's so many conflicting aspects and facets to this story. I mean, let's just touch on a few things you've already said, Nick, and you're saying, Lewis, they're saying that it will take him away. They'll put him into care, like he's a child. If he's a child, he shouldn't be doing this. End of chat.
Right.
End of story. Full stop. I can't overemphasise that. But it's a massive contradiction.